Thanks for joining me today. For anyone who doesn't know me, my name is Danielle Rankin, and I'm training coordinator with SSI. And today we're going to be going through 25 ShipConstructor tips and tricks. As always, I'll introduce myself, show my face, and then I will get to the presentation. I do apologize, I'm recovering from a cold, so hopefully it's not too distracting. But yeah, I guess we'll dive right in. And I already wrote in the chat there. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to discuss, feel free to add it to the chat, and I will respond as soon as I'm able. The plan is to go through the presentation, the tips and tricks, and then at the end, I'm going to demo a few of them. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Great. So 25 tips and tricks. And again, my name is Danielle Rankin, training coordinator with SSI. So today's session is organized into 5 key areas where small workflow improvements or the tips and tricks that I'm going to cover can really make a big impact. So first, we'll start with tips that can streamline your modeling workflows that help improve control, simplify workflows, and make day-to-day modeling easier. Then we'll look at project management workflows focused on visibility, coordination, and overall project control. We'll also cover production focused tips for things like labeling, automation, and viewport management. And then we'll roll into the streamlining model review, where we will cover some Ship Explorer workflows that help make model review much clearer and easier to navigate. And finally, I do have some sister ship related tips and tricks, which we'll go through that are designed to simplify workshare setup, compare model differences, and save time getting projects ready. So to get started, we will look at the modeling tips and tricks. So the first one I have here is easier transitions with space allocations. So first introduced in ShipConstructor 2025 R1, when inserting an elbow or a transition, there is some degree of offset. You can use intersection mode, or you're also able to use auto fit. This allows you to choose open ends of space allocations as a guide. And if there is a vertical offset or a difference in profile shapes, anything of that sort, an elbow will automatically pick that up. And this can be the space allocation elbows or transitions. There's the intersection mode that applies to the elbows and auto fit that applies to the transitions. Transitions will also pick up length and any additional offsets required between the two ends, resulting in absolutely no manual work or thinking required by the modeler to finish a run. And I will demonstrate this one later. And I also do want to plug our new space allocations or electrical modeling course with space allocations. So it covers everything from modeling space allocations, managing your space allocations, adding cable supports, everything you will need when it comes to modeling with space allocations for electrical. So definitely check that out if you're interested. It was just released a couple weeks ago. So, and of course, feedback, let me know. Next, we have the pipe palette and select current system, which is found in the Advantage Pack. For anyone who's not familiar with the Advantage Pack, it is a set of enhancements available at no extra cost for customers with an active subscription, giving early access to the latest features. So for piping designers, the pipe modeling palette speeds up work by letting you pick a system, branch, nominal size from drop downs, and then double clicking components to place them. So there's no constant saving when switching between branches or extra steps to activate a new stock within the pipe modeling ribbon. And it shows only the stocks that are in that system. Though creating systems or branches does still need to be done inside System Manager, this just gives you that easier viewpoint and palette to view the systems and branches you are currently working with, along with their nominal size and the different components that are available for you to choose from. And again, I'm going to demonstrate this one in a second as well and just show you how it works. Next, we have Locking and Lock Manager. This tool has been around since 2021, but has definitely seen constant improvements since its original inception. Lock Manager allows you to lock not only model drawings, but components such as spools, assemblies, and nests at the database level, which is different from the standard Navigator lock, if you're familiar with that. Most users are familiar with that, just locking your drawings. With model locking, you can lock one or multiple models, include their parts so they can't be manipulated elsewhere. And you can also allow specific user groups to still have permission to keep editing access while everybody else is locked out. So, this gives you a much stronger sense of control over who can modify drawings, preventing unintended changes and keeping models controlled during production. Did you know that you're able to trim a stiffener directly to a part or plane? So, using the structure plane trim type, you can create parametric trims that stay locked to the selected planes. So, if a plane moves, the trim will update automatically. So, you don't have to keep an eye on or keep track of those things. One useful approach is defining planes at unit breaks, for example, and trimming parts directly to those unit breaks. If the unit break moves later, the seams move with them, eliminating any manual updates and reducing the chance of any missed changes downstream. And I will point out, when I originally gave this presentation, I have given this before at conferences, and I'm generally given a 20-minute slot. So it is designed to be very rapid fire. I'm definitely going to take my time today as we have much more time. But yeah, you'll notice I'm going through them rather quickly, and that is why. But yes, of course, I'm happy to demonstrate, and I'm also happy to meet up with anyone and give any additional information following. So compartments, I'm really excited to show off our tips and tricks related to compartments. I'll actually tease, we're currently working on a compartment related course as well. So you'll be able to understand the ins and outs and the workflows and exercises, verifiable exercises pertaining to compartments. So really excited about that, which should be coming within the next couple of months. So stay tuned. If you're a user of compartments already or are interested in using compartments, this new ShipConstructor feature is definitely worth noting. So it was introduced in ShipConstructor 2026 R3, the Fit Compartment option. It automatically generates more accurate compartment shapes from the selected objects. So previously selecting objects created a single bounding box like the one in the image here that captured the overall extents, but didn't always capture the true compartment shape, especially in more complex areas of the vessel, such as when working with the curved plates like you see here. So Fit Compartment runs a background process that creates an optimized set of volumes to more closely match the compartment geometry. So you can see that here. This improves accuracy while eliminating the need for manual volume creation, making it much more efficient. The surface area calculator, introduced in ShipConstructor 2025 R1.1, allows you to calculate the surface area of parts within selected compartments. So this is especially useful for estimating paint, insulation, or other material requirements, helping teams plan your work more accurately. And the results include only the portion of each part that falls within the selected space, giving you accurate numbers even when parts cross compartment boundaries, which is super valuable. And the output can be exported for further analysis, easy to review surface areas by assembly, unit, or part type for planning and estimating purposes. So very customizable once you extract the Excel spreadsheet. When modeling distributed systems, placing fittings efficiently can save you a lot of time, and we've built tools for that. For example, the inline insert option is great for adding valves or branches after main runs are in place. It automatically breaks the selected straight run and reconnects everything for you so you don't have to manually cut, insert, and reconnect each segment, streamlining your workflow and reducing the possibility of errors. I really like using this tool, especially when you've perhaps added all of your main header runs and now you're going to go in and add your branches and add your connections to equipment, things like that. It's much more efficient and it's super quick. And I will demonstrate this one now in a second as well and show you how it works and how you complete the run and add the associated connections throughout. So intersection mode also makes it easy to place elbows while modeling without any manual effort. So the fitting automatically aligns with the intersection of the selected pipe ends and applies cutbacks if needed, so both ends connect up perfectly. So together, these tools speed up modeling, simplify connections, and make system adjustments far more efficient, especially for complex runs with varying elevations or bends. And then it's very easy to go in after and just use the connect command to just join the straight runs to the elbow. So it makes cleaning up your run after far easier as well. And there's no manual work, there's no guessing. Sure, you have to go in and add the connections after, but it's just a click of a button as well. Great. So that's what I had in way of streamlining modeling workflows. I'll just make sure nothing in the chat here. Great. Awesome. All right, we'll continue. So we're rolling in now to streamlining your project management workflows. So if you manage users regularly, we've updated user permissions and the assigning experience for managers. Since 2025 R1, you can create users and assign them to current projects directly inside Manager. So existing users are added automatically and new users are created on the spot, which saves you that trip to administrator. Then, starting in 2026 R3, you can create user groups in the same user permissions window. Groups don't control permissions directly, but they make it much easier to organize your users by things like project phase or task so you can quickly find and manage the right people. I know, for instance, you'll see here we've organized in the image pipe checkers, change team. So perhaps a large group of users may all have the pipe users permissions, say, but maybe you want to organize based on what system they're working on, whether they're a checker or a designer, modeler. You can organize these groups and set them up however you'd like. It makes your filtering far easier. And of course, together, these tools, the use of roles and groups, make user and permission management much easier, especially on your larger scale projects. I know we've covered tasks in a previous webinar, but I definitely want to highlight them in this webinar as well. Tasks are one of the newer feature sets in ShipConstructor, and they provide a powerful way to manage and track change throughout your project. Task Manager allows you to define and assign tasks, making it easier to organize and track work across the project. So you can also trace the history of changes in the lower section of Task Manager, giving you a clear view of what was done and when. And from there, you can right click on a task and load the task instance or the associated changes directly into Portal. So this loads the impacted parts as well, helping you trace changes downstream and understand the full scope of work within just a few clicks. And all of this information is stored within Task Manager, making it easy to review and audit your project at any time. I'm going to showcase a little bit of Task Manager now in a second as well, and I will demonstrate activating a task too. Next, we have Marine Information Model Reports, or MIM reports. The Marine Information Model contains the definition and attributes of every part in your project, along with the data needed for design, planning, and production. With MIM reports, you can connect the data directly to Power BI to create interactive dashboards and project analytics. SSI provides a Power BI template on Nexus, available to all subscribers, found here under the SSI Utilities section of our SSI downloads, which includes a wide range of metrics right out of the box. So from there, you can customize your own charts, filters, and slices to explore the data in ways that make sense for you and your team, whether it's at a high level project overview or drilling all the way down to individual parts. You have that customization ability. And I do want to stress that more information on using MIM reports can be found on Nexus and in the online manual as well. So all the setup steps, as well as manipulating your MIM report, you can find that information on Nexus. We've covered modeling and project management, so now we'll roll into production tips. So we have the label list palette. This tool stemmed from a Nexus wishlist item and surrounds the label list palette, which many teams use as a final check to confirm everything on a drawing has been properly labeled. So previously, if a part was labeled on one sheet but appeared on another sheet without a label, the tool would flag it with a red X as not labeled, even though it had already been identified elsewhere. So starting in ShipConstructor 2025 R1, the palette now recognizes when an object has been labeled on another sheet. So instead of a red X, it shows a gray check to indicate that the label exists somewhere else. This helps prevent duplicate part ordering and reduces confusion from repeated labels in production drawings. And of course, more information on this can be found on Nexus as well. This is another wish list item from the 2025 R1 release. So if you create inverted isometric production drawings, this can be a real time saver. Previously, you had to rely on AutoCAD tools and adjust the UCS to get the inverted view that you needed. Now, the familiar 3D viewpoint command includes a checkbox that creates a true inverted view instantly. The view cube, UCS, and orientation icon all update automatically, so everything will stay aligned without any extra manual steps. I know when I worked in industry, one of the projects I worked on, everything was inverted, and the effort we took to flip the view, it was definitely substantial. So this is a huge win. If you have a Nealon press and are generating the required production documentation manually, this can really help. So with ShipConstructor 2025 R1, we added the ability to generate these pressure maps directly through Hull's plate expansion settings. There are two ways to create them. You can start the map from the center or from the edge. So, or the side. You can see here in the red box that I've highlighted both of the options inside the plate expansion options. Either way, the plate is expanded with the pressure mapping required to accurately shape the part. So you can see the result here on the side. And this removes any manual effort and helps reduce potential errors within your calculations. And if you've ever had to create egg crate jigs or templates by hand, you'll appreciate this tip. Also, in the plate expansions menu, since the 2025 R1 release, there's an egg crate template option, along with settings to control slot width and the addition of lightning holes. This option automatically generates the templates with the slots and lightning holes based on your settings. When expanded, the templates are placed next to the expanded plate so you can continue directly into nesting. This helps streamline the forming of complex curved plates, removing the manual work previously required to slot the templates together and making it much faster to get accurate templates ready for production. So you can see here a sample on the side, just kind of gives you that feel of what you can expect it to look like inside your project, inside ShipConstructor. And we have further information on using this and customizing this on Nexus as well. Just take a little look here. Okay, I see a question there from Jose. I have a question. We have a new electrical training as core for outfitting professional certificates since it seems to be core training. Should this be a mandatory training for those holding? So yes, we currently consider. I'm going to go back and just double check what we've written or what we've added to our hierarchy diagram. I'll show you on Nexus after as well. We do have the updated hierarchy. I can't say that word. Diagrams for the outfitting and hull and structure professional and specialist certifications. So let me just double check that and get back to you. All right. So next we have change tracking definitions, or CTDs, which came along in our 2026 R2 release and allow you to define which types of changes should trigger a production drawing review. So instead of working through a large list of changes and trying to determine what's relevant, you can configure change tracking definitions to monitor specific fields that matter specifically to you. And once those definitions are in place, any qualifying changes will be flagged in the Tracked Changes tab of the out of date report, which is easy to run from directly within Navigator, making it easy to identify which production drawings may actually need your attention. As we know, these projects are massive, so this definitely saves your valuable time and pinpoints those changes that really do require that attention. Changes that you've specifically identified as requiring your attention. So this really helps you focus only on meaningful changes, reducing manual review time, and giving you greater confidence that drawings flagged as out of date truly do require your review. The BOM part viewer from the 2025 R2 release makes it easier to work with parts directly from your bill of materials. So by selecting an item in the viewer, you can quickly highlight and zoom to the corresponding part in the drawing, helping you locate what you need without cluttering up your workspace. And this works in both production and model drawings, allowing you to select the appropriate BOM and navigate through parts as needed. And from there, you can also load your parts directly into Portal to view any related project information and explore connected elements if you want to investigate further. The viewer also includes helpful usability features like filtering, sorting, and save display settings, making it easier to work with BOM data efficiently each time. And the next feature we have was a long requested workflow improvement that came with the 2023 R1.1 release. So you can now assign connection accessories to a specific side of a connection or unit break. This gives you full control over which spool or part receives the accessories during production and assembly. So the BOM and arrangement drawings automatically update so you avoid duplicates or missing packages, reducing delays and keeping assembly running smoothly. We have information on this on Nexus as well. Actually, if you go into Nexus, I'm going to show you this at the end. I'll show you how to filter your search down to find the exact information you're looking for. For instance, if there is one specific tip that I've highlighted here today, you can go into Nexus and filter your search down to give you exactly what you're looking for. Videos on a specific tip, for instance. So I'll show you how to really narrow down your search now in a second as well. So we'll roll in now to the tips to streamline your model review, starting with some valuable Ship Explorer tools here now. All parts across revisions are automatically color coded. So new parts are green, deleted parts are red, modified parts show up as blue or yellow, and unchanged parts appear transparent gray to make changes really stand out. So revision specific search sets are also automatically created so you can quickly filter to see all new parts, all deleted parts, or any other category when you use the compare revisions feature within Ship Explorer. This makes analyzing changes between revisions fast and intuitive. And I will also say our most recent webinar, I believe we had it in December, but we held a Ship Explorer related webinar where I did cover a lot of these tips pretty extensively. So I would definitely recommend you review that if you want more information on how to actually manipulate these tools, the Ship Explorer tools that I'm about to cover, because of course, this is a high level overview. So next, let's take a look at Spotlight, which is one of my favorite tools. It lets you easily select the parts you're interested in within the selection tree or using a variety of selection tools, search sets, what have you, making it simple to locate parts in your vessel without digging too deep. So this is useful for reviewing a model or swapping components, giving you a clear view of a piping system or any set of parts within your vessel. And Spotlight does provide that quick bird's eye view, helping you understand the full extents of the model and whatever you're looking at in seconds. So you can see a demo here, the image here to the right. Next, we'll take a look at color by property in Ship Explorer. So you can color parts within your Ship Explorer model based on almost any ShipConstructor property, making model reviews fast and easy. So these color codes are fully customizable to fit your project needs. So for example, parts can be reviewed or colored by stock thickness. So that's the demonstration here in the image. Um, so here we have purple for 8 millimeters, blue for 9 millimeters, orange for 10 millimeters, for instance. So this makes it easy to visually identify and analyze parts within your model at a glance. So now we'll cover selection sets. Many ShipConstructor specific search sets can be added to your file, letting you quickly find, isolate, and view parts based on a wide range of criteria. So for example, you can show all nested plates, all parts added under a specific task, or all parts by type in a particular compartment or product hierarchy assembly. These search sets are flexible and can be customized to match your unique project requirements, making model reviews again faster, more efficient. And the big thing I really like to stress while going through is always customizable. So you're only looking at the parts that truly require your time. So saving you so much time as you're going through these processes. Take another quick look, just see if there's any question. Okay, I see some more questions. Great. Another question regarding equipment training in which we have pipe ends covered but electrical ends skipped. Yes. So to answer that question, absolutely. Where electrical modeling especially is such a wide it's vast, right? We decided to kind of create that course in more of iterations, I suppose. So we did start specifically with space allocations and modeling your electrical routes. So yes, the plan is to eventually expand and get more into covering creating electrical connections, ends, and the actual cable management solution within ShipConstructor. And Alex, one question: is shipbuilding PLM interesting for small companies with relative small projects? So I say yes, because I always see ShipConstructor PLM is that tool where everything, or sorry, not shipbuilding PLM. Shipbuilding PLM is that tool that just contains everything. And then as you start then iterating or sister ships, small hulls, large hulls, it doesn't really matter. All that data is stored, and then you can reference it, reuse it in any capacity. So it's always worth a chat. Jonas, is there a way to estimate weight and COG of welds? I will have to get back to you on that. I'm not 100% certain of the correct process right at this time, but let me get back to you. Yeah, I want to ask the team. Great. Appreciate the questions. Keep them coming. And hopefully, if I'm not answering anything fully, or if you'd like some more clarification, again, I really, yeah, I'm happy to chat with you after and reach out to me. I'm really happy to answer these questions. So, Lee, to answer your question, I don't believe so. Yeah, with respect to the SWIBIS structure for hierarchies, I need to go back and just double check what comes built into the ShipConstructor project. I mean, this is what I'm used to seeing now, just because this is what we've been using. But yeah, I actually do want to go back myself and see what comes built in. And Sean, thanks for your recommendation as well. I want to implore as well. For anyone who's been at my webinars, you've probably heard me here say this before, but I would definitely say the wish list, the Nexus wish list, is where you can even see, as I'm going through this presentation, a lot of these items actually came from wish list requests. So those, we listen to those. If you get the votes, we will, like, I already hear there's a few people here who want the COG of welds. Helpful for everyone. Excellent. So we'll put in a wish list request, get those votes, and then we can get that over to the dev team. Great. I will proceed. But yes, keep the questions coming. Happy to discuss. So now we have product model with Ship Explorer, which again, I did cover extensively in our Ship Explorer webinar. So if you have questions or you want to actually watch a full workflow of this, please check out that on Nexus. So product model first introduced to Ship Explorer with ShipConstructor 2023 R2 release allows you to quickly generate a lightweight, data-rich 3D representation of your project directly in Ship Explorer. So instead of manually appending drawings one by one, product models automate the process, allowing you to generate a complete model in just a few clicks without opening the underlying drawings. You can also control what appears in the model, hiding unnecessary geometry and reducing visual clutter, which makes reviews, walkthroughs, and coordination much easier. So the result is faster model loading, simpler workflows, and a consistent model that can be easily shared and kept up to date across your team. So next we'll take a look at ShipConstructor Switchback, which is something I also really like in Ship Explorer. Ship Explorer. So if you select a part in Ship Explorer, then click the Switchback button in the Parts panel. If you aren't connected to a project, the Register Project window will appear. But once connected, the tool opens the model drawing containing that part automatically, which makes it super easy to verify and review individual parts without manually searching drawings, saving you time and reducing errors. So simply clicking on the part you want to look at, ShipConstructor Switchback, and it'll launch your model drawing. And now we have some tools relating to Workshare and sister ships. So Workshare Graphic Compare, introduced in ShipConstructor 2024 R1, launches from ShipConstructor and is paired with Ship Explorer to visualize differences between two related projects, such as sister ships. The utility uses distinct colors to highlight parts that are modified, exclusive to one model, or identical, making it easy to see your changes here at a glance. And this lets project managers and engineers verify modifications, coordinate across teams, and speed up reviews without manually checking each drawing. And finally, we have Workshare Catalog Compare. Workshare Catalog Compare, which was introduced in ShipConstructor 2025 R1, lets you quickly compare catalogs between two projects before performing transfers. Also launched from ShipConstructor, it highlights missing, different, or incompatible stocks, helping prevent any failed transfers due to catalog issues and ensuring that your project merges run smoothly. So by checking catalogs in advance, this tool saves time, reduces errors, and keeps your team coordinated across multiple projects. And I want to stress to learn more. So I know I've talked a lot about a number of different tools, and I've also continuously plugged Nexus and SSI Learning. So my favorite part of SSI Learning and Nexus is the search bar at the top of the page. This is where you can go to learn more about any of the tools highlighted here today. Do your specific search, press enter, and then once you get in here, once your search actually returns results, you can filter. So you can filter by content type, videos, for instance, videos, articles, what have you, manual. You can filter by course if you want specific information by course, video type, SSI product, and you can sort then by most relevant, newest, things like that. So make sure you're manipulating your search results and to get what it is you're actually looking for. So I do have a brief demo of a couple of tools that I want to review. I do see there's some good conversation happening in the chat as well. So I will stop sharing my screen for a second as I set up the demonstration. I'm reading a few of these questions. Okay, Lee, I see your question about the catalog compare slide. Yep, I will. I'm happy to go back for just a brief moment. Oh, here we go. And I'll just take a quick read down through everything else here. Is there any rule-based modeling available in ShipCon Hull? I will definitely have to get back to you on that one as well. I want to do a little bit more research there, but I am going to take all of these questions and get the answers and respond. So, oh, okay. Tips for creating custom brackets where standard parts don't fit. Good question. I'm trying to think. I don't have anything right off the top of my head, but that's honestly a great question. And I wonder if I can find something on Nexus because I feel like we may have written an article, but yeah, let me get back. Okay. Okay. And also, I will point out as well, I think I'll move on to the demo here now. The reason that I'm going to share this, I'm going to share this slideshow, the slide deck, the webinar recording, everything will be posted on Nexus afterward. You're also going to get, for anyone that registered, a replay link will be sent so you can flick back and take a look through the presentation. Sorry, Lambertus. But don't worry, it's all going to be available to you. So you'll be able to access it. And I'm always happy to answer anything privately as well. All right, now we'll get into the demo. Great, so I'm going to get started here. Just confirming, I believe everyone should be able to see my screen. Looks that way. Cool. All right, so with respect, so I'll start first with the enhanced user management. So right now I am in this project as the ShipConstructor user. So for anyone who's familiar with the training project, administrator. So I have all permissions right now from my perspective. So you can actually manipulate user permissions from here in the main page of Navigator. So this is one area where you just click your user permissions and it will launch. And of course, the other area would be in ShipConstructor and inside just your manager here. So under manager, general, you can also access user permissions. And this is outlined in a number of our courses now as well. For instance, I know we covered it pretty extensively in our task management and our locking management courses, just where we did want to cover the different permissions available. So here, for instance, you can see that we have a number of roles, which the roles are what actually dictate the permissions. So if I click on a specific user, for instance, a Hull user, I can see their specific permissions. And it makes sense, of course, they'd have more Hull permissions, but no pipe permissions, right? And then we can see that I've just broken it up, say, by teams. So for instance, maybe you had people separated by different teams, different locations, geographical locations, what have you. You have that potential, especially in the larger projects. I mean, of course, this is a small scale example, but in a large project, you'll be able to easily filter to see what users are available from a specific group. I know I mentioned earlier pipe checkers, for instance, or any way you would like to break up your team. But yeah, because a lot of people may have the same permissions, but you might want a way to differentiate between them by another criteria, which is where the groups come in. I closed the wrong page. Here we go. Okay, so yeah, here's just a pipe model that I've created for an example. So I'm going to play around with some pipe modeling tools that I just mentioned. I'm going to show off the pipe modeling palette. But first, before we get started, I do want to showcase tasks. So as a manager or an administrator, I can come in, of course, to the task manager and make changes. I have a task which I've already created and assigned to my user. So, a way to activate a task if I were getting ready to do something, I could go to the task palette, and this works for anybody. Like I mentioned, Task Manager is for managers to get in there and manipulate tasks, create tasks, organize tasks. As a user, I could come in, task palette, and I'm going to get started now. You can also set it up within your project that users actually can't make any changes to the model without being within an active task. So you can see here right now, no active task. So I can select a task and I'll only see the tasks that are actually assigned to my user. So for instance, modify pipe route. So now I'm inside that task and all changes or all manipulation to the model will start populating within the task palette and within Task Manager. Right now, I'm storing these changes under this task. And that's as simple as it is. So with respect to the pipe modeling palette, that's found under the Advantage pack. So what I'm kind of showcasing here maybe is how a number of different tools would work together. So the pipe modeling palette or the show pipe palette is right here. And here it is. I'm just going to dock it over here. So yeah, you can use this while you're modeling as well. What I really like about it, so I've actually placed two different systems or two different types of pipe here so that I can show you how easily you can jump back and forth. So set system from part is built into the pipe modeling palette, which is nice. So I could just click this part and you'll just watch everything change. So now I'm under this system, this branch, this nominal pipe size. And now I can see the parts that exist that can be added on to this, that the socks that are assigned to this. So, and another cool thing about this too is where you would normally, of course, go to your pipe ribbon and add parts right here or in your pipe, however you normally model. You do have the option if you double click on any of the icons, it just launches that part in that stock, in that system and branch and everything. And yeah, you can route. So it makes it pretty quick. And then if I come over here now, okay, I'm ready to work at this section, I'll just do the exact same thing. Set system from part, and now I have all of my available stocks. So that's a nice quick pipe modeling tool that I like to show off. And another neat thing that I will show off here as well, of course, is the intersection and inline routing. So for instance, okay, I have this pipe here now, and I want to join it to this header run, which is one of the things that I was mentioning. I don't know if you can tell that my background is in pipe modeling. Maybe I shouldn't focus on those tools, but yeah, I do really like to show these off because I've used these. I see the value, I suppose, more extensively. Yeah, okay. I'm going up here, but I could go over here. So that's the thing, right? There are a number of different ways you could model. But I'm, again, giving you that flexibility. I find that's what I really like to stress here. So if I click this T, for instance, it activates. I have the option then to use inline insert. And now I can, so for instance, what I'm planning to do here now, I'm just going to put it, you would choose where you want to put it in your main run. Hold on. Get ahead of myself sometimes. I'm just going to put it here somewhere. Maybe I chose the wrong reducer. It's the thing too, I am working, for anyone who's familiar, yes, I am working in the training project. Okay, yeah, I had chosen the wrong reducer. And then once you actually activate the inline insert, which is what I was just doing, you'll actually be given a number of different options. So for anyone who's familiar, the pipe scenario wizard, what you do is it does give you the option to filter through what you want the adjoining connections to be. So you'll notice as I'm flicking through, it's actually changing. It's because there are different connection types that exist within your project. So it wants to determine what connections you want it to actually use to join the T within your inline insert of your pipe. So I'm going to choose this. Yeah, let's just choose the first option. You can see I'm noticing it's adjusting the gap spacing. So yeah, it depends. You'd have your own connection types, of course. But if you click OK, you'll see there it just adds it into the middle. And then it makes it super easy to then just move and align. And then you can easily use the connect command. And you'll select which part to move. I want to extend this pipe, and voila. And then there's also the option for anyone who's unfamiliar, the intersection mode. I use intersection mode daily. I don't know if that's so. Hold on now. Let's go back and use make sure we're choosing the right system here. And we'll use the elbow that they give us. And then we'll launch intersection. And then we'll click the two ends. And you'll see it just line up exactly where you want it to be. And then you can easily use the connect command, which I'm activating up here. And join the two ends. Click OK. You're prompted which part to move. And there. And same thing with the other one. So your joining of so I'm noticing there are a lot of connections in this project, which is why I had so many different connections show up before. But yeah, we'll choose this part to move. Again, we want to extend this, and there, everything's connected. And again, if you come back into task palette, you'll see everything that I just did, all those changes I just made have all been tracked under this task, which is great because then you can go back and revisit the history of your model. And I want to show off finally, again, plugging that new electrical course, but the auto fit for it is one of my favorite things because I just find it so customizable. But and I guess as someone who has worked extensively with modeling space allocations for electrical, yeah, I know a lot of people, for instance, your trays are represented by the straight runs, right? So a lot of times you're just trying to maintain that nodal network and maintain that connection, which is where the auto fit really comes into play. Because you're likely not going to have parts that are this odd size sometimes, so the auto fit just allows you to maintain that connection. So I'll show you here, for instance, if I create a transition now to join these two parts, you'll notice they're offset in X and Y. One has a rectangle, one has a oval. So they're very different. If I click the transition and I use the auto fit option right here, and I click the two ends, it'll fit something in there, which is great because again, we're maintaining that that connection, right? And you can see the center line continues on. So you're getting that connection, which I know is really important for cable management solutions. So I really want to stress that. And of course, yeah, our new electrical course is up on Nexus. So for anyone who wants to give it a try, yeah. And that is where I will leave it. I'll put my contact information right here. I just add that here for everyone. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me. I know that we had a couple of questions come up here. I plan to reach out to everyone who's left a question here directly. I definitely want to make sure that you all get the attention and the answers that you're looking for. And I also want to stress at the end of this presentation, I have a quick Q&A or a quick evaluation. If you could take some time to fill that out, it would be greatly appreciated as well. And there's a space there to add some information about a future webinar topic. If there's something of interest to you, by all means, I take those very seriously, and I definitely want to give you guys what it is you're looking for and what it is you need. So please feel free to fill that out. Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. I will leave this. Feel free to duck out whenever you're ready, but I will just leave this here for anyone that wants to jot down my contact information. But yeah.